All right, how's everybody doing? Hopefully, doing well. I'm back with another live stream here on YouTube. Not doing a lot of these, but there hasn't been a whole lot of news, unfortunately, until today. Just before I headed out to work this morning, there was some bombazzo news about City and Marmoush. So I was pretty excited with that. I will pull it up right now here. Um, right here, we're looking at about 11 hours ago via Telefootball. Man City are pushing to sign Frankfurt's Omar Marmoush this month. Now, a couple days ago, there was reports that they wanted a huge offer of 80 million, and a bunch of the sources in Egypt were kind of going ham on Twitter, saying that it was a done deal and that it was happening. But pretty quickly that was shot down as maybe they got a little excited, and it was more likely that it was going to be a summer deal. We maybe had agreed terms, and he told his Egyptian friends or whatnot that that was happening, and they went with it a little too early. But it does seem like as of this morning they are pushing for a January signing. Now that would be great in my opinion. Of course, you guys know I'm a huge Marmoush guy. The reported fee from this morning right here says they're letting him go for 50 million. I think that's pounds. Now, I don't see that one being a realistic number. I mean, surely in my mind they would want something closer to 70, I would guess, just because Frankfurt are pushing for Champions League, and having a player like Marmoush is going to help them get that Champions League qualification for next year. The money that comes with versus the money for the sale. I guess it's a risk that you might not get Champions League, and then you sell them in the summer anyway when you could have got maybe more now in January. So maybe they need the money and they want to do it. But I would think having a guy who's been one of the Bundesliga's best players this year, with great stats for them, that having him in the team would put them closer to getting Champions League, and that'd be something they want. But hey, I don't know Eintracht Frankfurt's financial situation, but 50 million, it's a no-brainer for me. I'll pull this back up, and this is what I like to look at right here. FB Ref, they've got over on the right similar players to Marmoush. Now, this is not he is identical to them and he's as good as Vinny Jr. here, but analytically, based on the last year of data that is available against other players in the top 5 leagues that are considered forwards, he is most similar output-wise, analytically, to Vinny Jr. So I'm not trying to overhype the guy and oversell him and say we're signing Vinny Jr. for 50 mil, but according to this website and according to the analytics, these numbers over here on the left equate to what Vinny, puts out analytically. So, not saying he's Vinny, but I mean, it's better to be similar analytically to Vinny than not. Elsewhere on this list, you do see Mbappe, you see Isak, you see Alvarez. And actually another player down here, Charles Ketelere, that I do like as well. So if Marmoush is the Alvarez replacement, he is similar analytically to Alvarez, so it works for me. I'm cool with it. When you see a players that he's compared to over here, and this is just over the last year, so last year of data, so it's something that is relevant, and there's no bias into what people think it is. This is literally just these stats over here on the left, similar most to these players over here. So it's something I would be very happy about if we can get Marmoush done in the next week or so, and get that deal done. Now, there was some other news elsewhere that if we were able to get Marmoush, that James McAtee would be considering leaving because there's a report that that might be a replacement for him. I don't really understand that. It doesn't really make sense to me. McAtee's always seemed like a midfielder to me. I know he played on the wing in the believe it was the Leicester game, and he played pretty well. But in general, I see him more as an attacking midfielder, and I see Marmoush as more of a striker, winger, attacker type role. So I don't know that that necessarily would actually make sense, and it seems like City don't want McAtee to leave, regardless of if they play him or not. So I don't know if that's a true story, but I did see that report on Twitter as well. Elsewhere, we have Abdulkadir Kusanov, if I said that right. I don't know. But apparently he's been offered upfront to us. Lens need the money. The original report was 20 mil. Now they're saying 40, and Real Madrid are interested. So I don't know. Seems like a high price for someone who is only 20 years old. And I guess Ligue 1 does produce some really good talents. It's a physical league, so normally players adapt well to the Prem when they come from Ligue 1 in general. If I pull up his analytics page here, here is Kusanov's similar players. Now, the only one I've ever actually heard of on this list is Austin Trusty, just because he's an American. And I do like Austin Trusty, but, I mean, nowhere near City level, of course. And Bongiorno, I believe, is another player that we have been linked with in the past. Nothing concrete now, of course, that's out there. But as far as these stats, the only real takeaway I have is down here, his interceptions. He's in the 99th percentile amongst center backs in top 5 leagues over the last year. So it seems like a really aggressive player, which, is something that we seem to be missing in general in our back line. You see Akanji defending very timidly, I would say. And maybe that's because all of our defenders have been dealing with injuries, and it's been tough on them to get stuck in and go for these crunching tackles that fans love to see. But I mean, getting this guy Kusanov, he does it he's about as aggressive as anyone in the top 5 leagues. So he's all right on aerials but also very good on clearances right here per 90. So and tackles, okay. All these attacking numbers, seems like he's not getting forward too often, and I mean, I would probably expect that, being at Lens, who are not, or Lens, not doing super well in Liga, so not super surprising there. Elsewhere, we had a couple more stories come out. Most of the stuff was about Marmoush today, but there was another report right here about Ederson, seeming like he's headed to an exit, which of course seems accurate. He hasn't played in a while. I don't think any of us seems like we expect to see him playing again soon. Seems like his head's gone and wants to go to Saudi. So, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he was to leave in the summer, even January. But again, there was a report this morning that no first-team players were expected to leave. At least that's how City felt. Maybe it could happen. We got 3.5 weeks or so left of the window. So still early days, not sure. But there was also an initial goalkeeper targets, according to Foot Mercato. Now, again, not sure on the reliability of the source, but I've only really heard of Milinkovic-Savic and a little bit of Di Gregorio. I saw us linked to him a little while ago. Now, not super familiar with Serie A. Don't get a chance to watch that super often, so I don't know. But if he's a Juventus goalkeeper, does he play a lot? I don't know. Again, I think if Ederson's leaving, you're probably promoting Ortega anyway. Otherwise, Ortega will leave, and then we'll have another spot to fill in the summer, and I'm sure they already have a busy summer planned. Ortega's been pretty good over this last month or so, 3 weeks that he's been playing over Ederson anyway, so not super concerning in my opinion. Now, if we pull this up here, I'm just going to pull up Man City's fixture list here to take a look what we have going forward. Of course, we have the FA Cup this weekend on Saturday the 11th against Salford. I'll be doing a watch along, or I plan to do a watch along. Hopefully, we get some interaction there, and I get to meet some more City fans. Of course, being over here in America and being where I live in Florida, there is not a ton of people who pay attention to the Premier League, but it's cool. It's why I like doing this. This is something I do for fun, and I just get to voice my opinion a bit and get heard. But really, what's important is we are a week away from the next Premier League game. Hopefully, we've got a signing, maybe even two by then, so they can maybe come off the bench second half here to just revitalize the squad. Any movement on Twitter and whatnot will just, I think, calm some of the anxiety in the fan base for sure. I mean, I've been wanting hard, concrete links for days now, and Marmoush seems the most likely and most advanced of all. But there are still reports that we haven't even talked to Frankfurt formally yet. So we'll keep an eye out, and I'll keep checking Twitter and seeing what comes about. But whenever there's some more news, I will come back on another live stream, do another video, or talk about it on Twitter, see what I can find. But I do appreciate you guys watching. Just leave me a comment and let me know how you became a City fan, or if you're from another place outside of Manchester. That'd be cool just to know about. So whenever there's more news, I will be back.